My name is Cons. I'm not a professional YouTuber or video maker at all, but I know how to get drunk in style. So today, let's do this. What do we need? We need, of course, a unit of measurement. In this case, like roughly 100 milliliters. If you're American, just, whatever fuzzy measurements you have. Apart from that, we need something sweet. We need honey, sugar syrup, agave syrup, whatever you prefer. My favorite is some honey giuseppe right now. We need something sour, limes, right? Or, fake version. We need alcohol, rum. Depending on what you want, it can be white or brown rum, but rum. We need mint, we need shaker, we need a glass, and sparkling water. So, once we have the ingredients, what do? We put 1 part honey, 1 part lime juice fresh, 1 part alcohol, put everything into a shaker, make sure it dissolves, put also the mint into the shaker so that the ice breaks the mint, you pour everything into a glass with ice, and you fill it up with 2 parts of sparkling water. Everybody who knows what I'm talking about, just go ahead and do the drink. Everybody who has some issues and some questions, stay tuned. Okay, let's go through the elements step by step. Let's start with the sweet piece, because you actually have a lot of options there. Now, again, my preferable option is honey, which I actually ran out of. You then have other syrup types. This is agave syrup, usually used in margaritas. We then have regular sugar, right, which is what you usually find in mojito recipes. And then you have a version of sugar, which is a sugar syrup that you can do at home easily. So, the question is, which one do you pick? In terms of sugar, sweetener, most of the recipes go for regular white sugar. Don't go to the brown one dissolves it quite badly, like really bad. So white sugar is actually totally okay, especially if you are going for a white rum. Traditional recipes are more of a white rum type-ish. Now, of course, if you don't have a white rum at home, but you still want to have a mojito, you just don't go out to the supermarket because it's quarantine. I'm stuck at home, right? So, as we will go for the brown rum, we should go for honey. We don't have honey, so I need to make a compromise here. That one's out. We then have sugar, white sugar, sugar syrup, and other types of syrups. In this case, agave. I tried it once, it's working, but it's not as clear. Agave totally has a certain taste to it. So while it's pretty great in margaritas, it doesn't work out that much in mojitos. Next, we're stuck with the other 2 sweetener types, which is sugar syrup and regular white sugar. As I don't like to mix with regular sugar because for me it's difficult, I just don't trust it. Also, you need to dissolve it, you need to shake it and so on. I prefer always to mix with something liquid, so I need to make my own sugar syrup. How to make your own sugar syrup? Actually quite easy. You need something where you put all the stuff in and that you can heat. You then need your unit of measurement, or your part. You need sugar and you need water. Later on we will need heat and a little bit of time. So, quite easy. Get the sugar, 2 parts. 1, 2. Damn, lucky, it's actually out. And then we take water, 1 part. And now just make sure it dissolves a little bit, and it will not dissolve fully. So now you have an oversaturated sugar water. We need to make sure that the rest of the sugar dissolves and converts everything into syrup. And this is where we need a little bit of movement and heat. Let's go to the kitchen. So, when you're working on your sugar syrup, just make sure it's like your oven or your plate is at medium heat. Once we have our sugar syrup, we have the first part of what we want to do. Let's start mixing it together by putting it somewhere. The good thing about working with syrup is the fact that it dissolves instantly, so you don't really need to mixture it. You don't have a different sugar level between the lower and the upper part of your mojito. You can simply drink it without a straw, and that means less plastic, and that means you save the world. Greta, this drink's for you. Next up, sour stuff. I usually tend to go for fresh limes because it's just what I like from a taste perspective. Also, I adopted the units of measurement or the parts measurement based on lime juice. You can also go for artificial lime juice. There is fresh lime juice that you can buy, which can, internet. There's also those concentrated versions. It's possible. I did it once. It's not bad. You get around it. It's just slightly different. So if you can, go for fresh lime juice. If you cannot, take the alternative. So I'm going to explain. If you don't have any fresh lime juice, I'll quickly explain how to actually get some fresh lime juice by yourself without a lot of hassle. You need roughly 4 to 5 limes to fill up this part or this unit of measurement, which is roughly 100 milliliters. So just like squeeze 5 limes and it's good. You can use it later on. You can store the juice at least about a week in the fridge, so no problem at all. So if you don't have any possibility to squeeze out the juice in a specialized machine or form, here's something you can do. You need a knife, right? And of course, you need something to store your limes. In my case, we'll use this, bowl or whatever. You then need something to squeeze or mash the limes. In my case, this is usually used for meat. I'm going to use the upper part. This is used for mashed potatoes. Both work. Choose the one that's more stable because you need to apply some pressure. So here we go. We cut the limes. Don't go crazy. Now that we have our lime juice, we of course need to proceed to the next step, which is mixing it with the part of sweetener that we have already. In my case, yeah. Always make sure you cover your working table. As I don't like it to be too sweet, I tend to put a little bit more of lime juice than I have sweetener. It depends a little bit on the sweetener you have. So I'll just pour a little bit more, just like that. So it's maybe like a sixth of what I had before. Put it in. Next, let's get to the booze. In this case, we have brown rum. Why do we have brown rum? Because it's the leftover from a party. That's it. That's the only reason. If you want to go to a classic mojito that's done usually, you go for a white Bacardi, a white Santa Teresa, anything that's white rum. At the same time, this is what I have. As mentioned before, if you have white sugar, prefer white rum. If you have honey, prefer brown rum or aged rum. There's a certain, let's say, double use if you go for honey and brown rum, and that is a drink called ron con miel, which translated to English is rum with honey. And this is what people in Cuba drink if they want to drink rum without all the fancy stuff around it. You just go straight for alcohol with a little bit of sweetener. Now technically what we have in here right now is lime, sugar, lime and rum. So we have the sweetener, we have something sour, and we have our alcohol. And here comes the double use of this method. If we now mix up the three ingredients that we have in here, they should already taste good, and you can go for, let's say, a stronger cocktail. There's no problem with that. This is the first taste try that you can do, and if it's too sour or too sweet, you can add more syrup, more sugar, more honey, more whatever. So, as I said, let's get to it. Give it a whirl. Now we should be able to taste something. Yeah, it's actually a nice direction. You feel the sugar, you feel the sourness. Let's try it again. No, it's good. You can drink that actually. So we're done with the alcohol. What next? Well, essentially a mojito is a drink that you drink in a hot environment. It is made to be refreshing. That's why it has the mint and the sparkling water. So we kind of need to get this refreshing feeling into our drink, because what we have right now is pretty close to margarita. It just gets you drunk. Now, how do we get the mint into this mixture? Because usually when you do a mojito, you start with the lime, the sugar, and the mint, and you press everything, you mash everything to get the mint flavor into your alcohol juice mixture. In our case, we skip that because I think, at least for me, this is easier to handle from a measurement perspective. Also, it's just more consistent. So how do we get the mint into our drink? We need a shaker, and we need ice, and we need mint. A couple of these. So what now? The idea here is that this piece of ice, while it's being shaken, will break those leaves. You can pre-break them by slapping them. And while it's breaking up the leaves, the aroma will be transferred into a liquid with alcohol. Alcohol will keep it, so that's a little bit the idea of the mechanics here. I'm going for 2 mojitos, so I'm going to put 2 of my parts into the shaker. The rest can be saved for later, or you can drink it now with. now that we have our drink, and we have our ice, our mint, and our mixture in our shaker, let's go. So we're almost there. We have our glasses with ice. We have our mixture. Let's shake it a little bit more. You know, some mint. You technically don't need it, but it's always nice. Also for decoration purposes. So let's get to it. Get those two. Once we have this covered, there's only one thing to do, which is filling up everything with sparkling water. Here you can decide whatever you like. I'm usually going for 2 measurement parts or 2 parts of sparkling water per on what we had before. Give it a little whirl. And here you go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a mojito. Now, do you need to take sparkling water, or do you need to, or can you do it with regular water? Yes, you can do it with regular water. I've seen it in Cuba. There was no name for it, so we called it Mojito Mineño, based on the name of a town called Minas in the province of Camagüey. Do you need crushed ice, or do you need like regular ice blocks? To be honest, I think crushed ice melts too rapidly, so your mojito just becomes water after like 10 minutes, especially when you think about the fact that you're drinking it in, you know, 30 degrees Celsius, whatever bloody Fahrenheit that is. So having regular blocks of ice just helps to keep the drink cooled down while not being too watery. So I'm not a big fan of crushed ice, just skip it. In terms of what do you need to drink it with, friends, that's why I never make only one mojito. Right, so enjoy guys, and happy quarantine days. Hi, my name is Kons, and today we will grill a cat. Mint and a glass. Right? Long story short, one of each. So just take yourself a measurement. Hey, there's a cat. Also, try to eat cats. Apparently they taste like chicken. No. Nice. For everybody of you who likes cats.